Hello, and thanks for joining me on Life and Surround. I guess this is episode 2 of Life and Death and Surround. A while ago I did a tribute to Chris Cornell, connecting all of the surround music works that he was involved in. And today, I sadly am doing this video about the late great Neil Peart. I was just at work a little while ago and occasionally monitoring my Facebook, and somebody on the Life and Surround Facebook said, hey, you should do a Rush video in honor of the late Neil. And I didn't even know what they were talking about. So for those who don't know, the news is saying that Neil has died at age 67 of brain cancer. I didn't even know he was sick. I feel heartbroken. I mean, we knew that Rush very likely was no more. Alex was having arthritis problems, and I think Neil as well. And I don't think that Getty or Alex would have any intention of being Rush without Neil. They made some great records, and they gave us a lot of good music and memories over the years, and I think they did well for themselves as far as the musical legacy is concerned. And as a fan, I wasn't too unhappy that they were ceasing operations. I used to be a massive Rush fanboy and just loved every minute of every album, and over time I've consolidated my true love for their work to their Terry Brown golden era, Fly By Night through Signals, more or less, and there are great songs on either end of that era. But yeah, Fly By Night, Caress of Steel, 2112, Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, Permanent Waves, Moving Pictures, and Signals will always be just at the very top of albums that I would rescue from a burning building. They're deeply written on my heart. Today's just a normal day for me, and I'm in a Caress of Steel t-shirt. Just completely coincidentally. Farewell to King's ring. Rush tattoos. I have a few. Anyway, somebody on the Life and Surround Facebook asked that I would do a Rush video, so I'm going to do the world's fastest Rush in surround for you. Okay, the best Rush album in surround by far is Steven Wilson's 2017 remix of A Farewell to Kings. It comes in that giant box set, and it's housed in that cardboard sleeve right there. I apologize that the set is, around $100 plus, but that's the only way to get it officially right now. Do what you have to do to get Steven Wilson's 2017 mix of A Farewell to Kings. It's brilliant. For one thing, you'll hear Neil Peart panning all around the room with all those concert toms and everything, all that additional percussion, the rattle slap. Oh my gosh. It takes that album to a whole new level. If you haven't heard it and you want to feel like you're experiencing A Farewell to Kings for the first time all over again, seek it out. The Richard Chaike 5.1 mix of A Farewell to Kings from several years earlier is not that good. Don't bother. It comes in Sector 2 box set, and it was also released as a standalone Blu-ray. Take my word for it, don't bother. Richard Chaike's Fly By Night, however, which was released in Sector's 1 box and also on its own as a Blu-ray, it's behind me somewhere, is worth seeking out. He nailed it It's flawless. I don't know how he did it, but it just sounds like the Fly By Night that we all know and love, but it expands it out into the room, and it does some playful things when there are enough layers in the songs to do things with, like By Tor and the Snow Dog, the bass guitar, electric guitar battle happen all around you. It's incredible. Richard Cheike's Signals is also pretty damn good. The first 4 songs sound a little tame surround-wise, but there's not a lot of layering going on. When the songs get more experimental on the back half of Signals, the mixes get more experimental and very, very, very well worth your time from a surround perspective. From there, we get a series of diminishing returns. Moving Pictures is pretty good. 2112 is pretty good, but there are a couple of mistakes where they either didn't have available overdubs or something happened. A couple of parts are too loud, a couple of parts are too buried. Richard Cheike's Hemispheres is probably a bad upmix. I have to give him a little bit of credit because he has done some good mixing. Hemispheres is terrible. Seek out the Hemispheres Super Deluxe if you just want all the paraphernalia and everything, but the extras aren't even very good, like they're mostly bootlegged. And serious Rush fans are likely to have seen the Pink Pop Festival already and so forth. Snakes and Arrows, I don't think through any fault of his, I'm not even sure he was involved. I think Nick Raskulenitz may have mixed it, but the mastering is terrible. The bass is flabby to the point of being just indiscernible, and it's mastered way, way, way too hot, and it's also due to the MVI format in Dolby Digital, and so it's super dingy, and really the high-res stereo version of Snakes and Arrows ran through an upmixer on your AVR is probably a better experience. So anyway, that's Rush and Surround, with the exception of some of their concerts. Just recently I listened to, I think it was either the Time Machine Tour show or R30 or Snakes and Arrows. Anyway, their live concerts do tend to have some true surround separation. Like you'll have Alex mostly in the surrounds, the drums spread out ahead of you, Geddy centered, making a lot of use of the center channel for his vocal, and then, you know, bass centered and keyboards kind of spread throughout the room. So some of the Rush concerts are worth tracking down from a surround perspective, particularly I think it was the Snakes and Arrows tour, like Neil Peart's drum solo, especially during the electronic part, is all around you. You feel really like you're in the middle of his drum kit. So that kind of wraps up Rush and Surround for you. In my mental stupor through just grieving over Neil, I may have forgotten something. So if so, I apologize, and I'll pick it up in a later video. This is a sad day. So I want to point out, just from like a Neil Peart fan perspective, that if you, in the days and months and years to come, are craving some Peart, he does have some instructional videos, mostly about drumming, Taking Center Stage, Work in Progress, where you hear the whole Test for Echo album approached from the drum perspective. He read the graphic novel Clockwork Angels, which covers the concept of their album Clockwork Angels and fleshes it out and has a bunch of Rush references and puns almost on every page. So it's probably the best way of all time that there is to geek out on Rush. They did an audiobook, and Peart himself reads it. So I'm going to be spending some more time on that. You see, I'm just trying to recommend some ways that you can enjoy this man's work. If you are not familiar with Rush and Surround, like I said, if you want to feel like you're experiencing some of their classic albums for the first time all over again, Farewell to Kings 2017 is definitely worth it. Fly By Night, Signals, moving pictures on Blu-ray or DVD audio. 2112, you get to watch a comic book that somebody drew of the story while the song is unfolding in 5.1. And though it's not a perfect 5.1 mix, it's definitely serviceable. There's a couple of annoying moments to me, but it doesn't kill the whole experience. I really do enjoy throwing it on super loud, bringing down the 13-foot movie screen and watching the comic book while the song unfolds. It really is a cool experience. So I'm not sure what else there is to say. I'm glad that we have some Rush in surround. I'm glad that at least a few of those efforts are more or less flawless. A few of the other efforts are well worth your time. Permanent Wave's 40th anniversary should be coming up pretty soon. Super Deluxe box, I mean, I can't imagine they would miss the opportunity. It's rumored that the Permanent Wave's master tapes are missing. For that matter, I've never heard that the Hemispheres tapes ever surfaced. So if they try to do another crappy upmix of Permanent Waves, I'm just gonna, I don't know. It'll take some effort not to do something bad. But maybe we'll get a surround mix of Permanent Waves. Best case scenario, they would hire Steven Wilson or someone of that caliber to do their subsequent 5.1 mixing. I don't know what happened with Hemispheres for sure, but it's just awful. As if I needed a good reason. In the days, weeks, months to come, I'll definitely be spinning some more Rush. Letting those Peart lyrics hit me in a whole new way. I mean, Rush is really kind of at the foundation of a lot of what I think and who I am. I remember as a young man discovering them, it just felt like such an adventure, and in some cases I struggled with their themes because of some of my upbringing. But over the years, I've more closely aligned to what they had to say, and in a way I'm really grateful to someone like Peart, who has written about some challenging things and in some cases some unpopular points of view, and really has stuck by what he believed, and that's an important legacy for me. I value truth, and I value free thinking and taking a stand for what you really think and what you believe. So, you know, that's something that in a way I learned from him. And I'm sorry he's gone. It just really sucks. Back in the 90s, he lost his daughter to a car accident, and then his wife about a year later. Just basically the doctors say that she died of sadness. And then he went on a motorcycle journey to try to outrun his demons. A book called Ghost Rider chronicles that. It's very, very, very well worth a read, even if you're not a Rush fan. It's just a wonderful book. In some cases it's soul-crushing, but you know, he emerged from that time victorious and came back to Rush. Learned a whole new style of drumming technique. Put out some great tracks with them in the wake of that. Vapor Trails. Feedback. Clockwork Angels. Snakes and Arrows. Man. And I just hope that, you know, while he was creating those wonderful works for us with his bandmates, and I know that he loved his time with them, and he valued being a part of Rush and performing at a super high level, but I hope that he had enough time with his new family. He did remarry and had another child and lived not too far from me, just to the south in Santa Monica. I'm a motorcyclist, and a lot of times I always hoped that I would see him out on the road. with his big road cases on his BMW, with his riding buddy along with him. Well, I feel like I'm just rambling now, and I'm not sure I'm adding any value, and I know that your time is valuable. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, don't forget to give a thumbs up, help support this channel, subscribe, leave your comments below. And definitely enjoy some Rush, either in stereo or surround, on headphones, on a Best Buy system that you just went down and bought, on a super high-end surround system. Read a book, listen to Peart's audiobook, watch an instructional video, watch a concert, rock your favorite Rush t-shirts, hop on to some of those Rush pages on Facebook, Rush Fanatics. Definitely look me up on Life in Surround Facebook if you want to chat about it. I'm also on quadrophonicquad.com, Edison Baggins. You can leave comments here, you can message me. I'm here for you if you're grieving, I really mean that. I know that I am, and I don't know what it's going to take to just push through this and emerge and feel happy again. I hope that'll be soon. But I'm in some pain right now, and you might be too, and that's okay. That's okay. Rush is one of the greatest bands that has ever existed, and we got to live during the time of Rush, and so that makes me feel like anybody alive right now is a pretty lucky person. And we still have their music to enjoy and each other to enjoy. So I'm going to sign off for now. Unfortunately, this was episode 2 of Life and Death in Surround. And I don't know what else there is to say other than, until next time, live life in surround.